Welcome to the hands-on section of Chapter 11, where we try out sequential file access for writing. This is the exact code that we have in the slides. I'll just walk you through it quickly because I'll be making some modifications to it. So we're including the standard IO library. In the main function, we're defining a file pointer CF pointer, which we're going to use to access the clients.txt file, which we open in the if condition using the fopen statement. We provide the file name and the file opening mode and assign the return value to CF pointer. If it is equal to null, we print out this message, file could not be opened, and that ends the program because the if condition takes us out. Otherwise, the program continues from the if condition into the else block, and here it asks the user to enter account number, name and balance, or end of file character to end input, and then it prints the question mark as a prompt. We define the unsigned integer account, the character array name, and the double precision floating point number variable balance, which we use in the scanf function to read in account number, name, and balance. And then we have a while condition that checks if the input is the end of file character or not. If not, we go into the while loop and we continue taking input and storing, writing it to file using the fprintf statement. When we break out of the while loop, we close the file, and that's the end of the program. Now, this program won't work as it is. We have to make some changes at least. So, one way, and I'll try to run this and show you. So I attempt compiling this program, and you can see the first thing, I'm getting a warning and an error actually for using fopen. I'm getting another one for using scanf. Now we already know how to deal scanf. We just use scanf_s instead. So that's simple enough. But today, now that we're approaching the end of the course, I want to show you another alternative. You can actually suppress these warnings. Now that's not advised, because it's always better to be in the habit of writing secure code. But now that we're at the end and hopefully using secure versions of many of the functions we've come across up to this point is now your habit, I'll show you how to suppress these warnings and stick with the traditional functions, the non-secure versions of these functions. And for that, I'm going to pass a directive to the compiler, which I had commented out before here on line 3. Pragma warning disable 4996. 4996 is the error that I'm getting over here. 4996 for using fopen. 4996 for using scanf instead of its secure version. So this is certainly one workaround, and let me demonstrate that, and after that let me also convert this same program to a version that uses all the secure versions of scanf and fopen. So let me run this, and this is the program as advertised. So I'm going to enter, let's say, account number 100. I'm going to enter name, spawn, and let's say a balance of 10,000, and then another account number 200, and name Abu Bakr, and a balance of 20,000. And I could go on 300, account number 305, and let's say that is Fahad, and let's say the balance for Fahad is 25,000, and let's say that's where I want to end it. So Control Z. Actually, I have to give Control Z 3 times over here, and that ends the program. Now, we haven't read from the file, we've only written to the file. Let's check if we actually accomplished that. And for that, I'm going to open the folder that contains the source code for this project, and you can see there's a file there, clients.txt. Going to open that, and you can see the contents: 100 Usman, 200 Abu Bakr, 305 Fahad, along with their balances. Now, let me convert this to a version where I'm still using the secure versions of all of these functions. So scanf is pretty straightforward. I'm going to replace the two uses of scanf with scanf_s, but as you'll see, that still leaves me with the problem of using fopen. Fopen should be replaced by fopen_s. Now here's the thing, fopen_s has a different argument list. And the first thing is that it takes the file pointer as an argument, doesn't return a value to it. And not only that, that's a double pointer, I have to put an ampersand in front of that. And the return value is an error code. Now, actually, instead of doing all of this, let me keep these lines of code and just comment them out and replace them here. So what I have to do is I have to call fopen's secure version. First argument is the file pointer, address to the file pointer. Second argument is file name as before, and third argument is the mode in which I want to open the file. Now, I still need if condition over here. And for that, if this opening of the file was successful, I need to check for that over here. So how do I do that? I check simply if CF pointer is null or not. If it's null, that means we were unsuccessful, and I'll simply print out the same message I was printing out before. File could not be opened. And that's it. Compare these 4 lines of code with these 3 commented out lines of code. That's the only thing I have to change. That's the difference between using fopen and fopen secure version. Not significantly different, not much different. Now, to demonstrate that this actually works, let me compile this. And you see it looks just like before. So this time around, I'm going to give it account number 10, username Murtaza, and Murtaza is a rich guy, has 100,000 real. And oh, something went wrong here. Oh yes, of course. So we're using scanf_s. We forgot to add something. We're reading in a string into name. And remember, when you use scanf_s, one thing you have to do is you have to provide a maximum length for that string. So we haven't done that here for name. And I can do that here. So name's length is 30 is an array of size 30, which means I can read in 29 characters. So I have to provide 29 as an argument following name, meaning that name should be read in up to 29 characters in both places where I'm using scanf_s. Let's try that again. Okay. So Murtaza has 100,000 real. Let's try someone else. Sajid has, let's say, is even richer, 200,000 real. And let's pick someone else. Najm has 500,000 real. Okay, let's see what we got in the file. So I'll end it here. And let's take a look at the file we produced. And you see the same 3 lines that I just wrote in at the command prompt in the file. And that's basically it. That's how you can open a file for writing and create a file, open it for writing, and that's how we do that. And let me also take this opportunity to show you, to demonstrate another file open mode. Let's use A+. Remember, that is where we append data to a file. So I'll recompile my program. Okay, and so I still have some data from before, and I'm going to add now account number, Sajad, and let's add a few more records. So let's say account number 2000, Hussain, 350,000. Let's add another one, account number 2200, name Tahir, 400,000, and let's end it here. Okay, so now I still have the file from last time, I believe, and let's see what's in the file. And there you see, I still have the records from last time, and I just added new records to it. I made some changes in between here, that's why you have the blank lines. So let me close this and run my program again and keep adding records. So account number 5, Ali, and 500,000, and let's end it here. Let's open the file again, and look over here, we have the last record that I just wrote. So I just added records to this file by running my program 3 times. And you can see that files are then the mechanism by which we can make our programs remember data, writing it to disk. Now this is obviously just the writing part. We will go to the reading of files next.